you just described a great life and great marriage. Did there come a time in 2024, Gerhard, when that changed?
Yes.
First of all, in 2024, at some point, well, let me ask you this preliminary. Did Ariel have to travel for work?
She did, yeah.
Okay, and that's because she was working virtually?
Yeah, just like three or four times a year.
Okay. Did there come a time in 2024 when Ariel traveled to South Africa for work?
Yes.
Do you remember when that was roughly?
At the end of August of 2024.
And who was she going with, to your knowledge, at the time?
It was a pretty important trip for her because it was just the CEO of the company, another man that was high up in the company called Jeff Miller, and herself.
Okay. Now, I want to ask you this. By the way, when you guys were on Maui working, and she was working virtually, like, where was she actually doing her work? Like, when she was working?
Yeah, she had a home office set up, but it was
in her house.
In our house,
Okay.
but it was in our bedroom. So, and there was no divider or anything between it. So her desk was basically right next to our bed. So like a third of the space in the bedroom was taken up by her office.
And when what were her hours? Was she on Seattle time? She started?
Mostly West Coast time, sometimes East Coast time. So she would usually get up
Early.
either 4 or 5 a.m. and start work around there, and then work until around 2 p.m.
So were you, because it was in your bedroom, were you exposed a lot to
A lot.
her
yeah.
work and her things she was doing and the
Yeah,
people?
she has a huge monitor on her desk. She has one of those desks that can go up and down.
Okay.
And it's facing into the room, and all of her meetings are on speakerphone.
Okay. Prior to this, well, leading up to this South Africa trip, you mentioned did she go with a man named Jeff Miller?
Yes.
Did you have any concerns about Jeff Miller at that time?
No.
I know you mentioned no concerns, but was there anything weird on that trip, behavior-wise, that you took notice of? The South African trip?
Yeah, it was a really quick trip. It was just 2 nights. But the one weird thing was that on the second night, I remember noticing that she never contacted me at the end of the day, and that's kind of out of character. Whenever she went on work trips, she would always kind of check in at some point. At the end of the day, even usually we would check in several times during the day as well, and just do text. We would text a lot.
Okay.
And the one night on that trip, she never reached out. And I was at work, and by the time I got home and realized that she hadn't reached out, I knew she was asleep, and so I didn't reach out to her either. But normally she would reach out to me when she's done with her work day.
Did you think much of it at the time, or?
No,
Okay.
I took note of it, and I asked her about it, and she just said, like, I'm so sorry. We got back late from dinner with the hosts that were hosting us, and I'm sorry, I should have texted, but I didn't.
Now, she returns from South Africa. Later on in 2024, did you and your family go on a trip to Kauai?
We did, yeah.
When was that, roughly?
In October. I think it was October. Yeah, we told Emil as a graduation present we'll take him to one of the other islands that he hasn't been to yet for a little trip, and he picked Kauai.
He picked Kauai. Now, did anything happen on this Kauai trip that made you become concerned to a degree about Mr. Miller?
Yeah, a little bit. What
happened? Tell the jury what happened.
Yeah. So we were there at the end of I think from like Thursday to Monday or something like that. So it overlapped with her work week a little bit, and she was able to take most of the time off. But there was a few meetings that she still had to do that she couldn't. And so and they're early morning meetings because they were West Coast time, and I just overheard her talking to him on the phone and from the other room, and it just seemed that they had a very familiar tone, more so than what I was used to, the way that she used to talk to him and the way that she talked to her other work colleagues.
Now, you get back from Kauai after the trip. From October to December, did you notice any other red flags or concerning behavior?
Yeah. So
what happened?
The biggest But I mean, the only thing that I noticed was that she was constantly on her phone. She was just constantly on her phone.
Was that more so than usual?
Yeah, much
Okay.
more than usual. And she would hide the screen from me. So
What do you mean by that?
like, you know, if you're sitting next to somebody and they're on their phone, like, you can just notice that they're sitting in a way. They're,
Okay.
you know, they're constant. They're always just like moving their
What if you like walked
moving their
into a room
screen.
when she was on her
Yeah,
phone?
when I walked in the room, she would turn the screen off or turn her phone upside down.
Did you ask her about it?
I did several times,
And what-
and she would always say, "I'm talking to Gianna. I'm talking to Gianna," which is her best
Who's
friend.
Gianna?
Gianna's her best friend.
Okay.
Um,
So, so you did ask her about it a couple of times,
yeah,
And-
more than a couple.
and you continued to see this concerning. Well, was this behavior concerning to you?
Yes,
And
I was just I was curious.
okay.
I was concerned. You're right.
And did she told you it was, don't worry, it was just Gianna.
Yeah, and she was like defensive about it.
Okay.
Um,
Now, what did that lead you to do in early December? All this
yeah.
behavior, red flags.
No, when she kept doing it and she kept being defensive, I unlocked her phone.
Okay.
And while she was sleeping.
Now, do you recall when you did this? There's been talk about a San Luis Obispo trip, right? Were you guys going to go on a trip in December?
Yes,
And with who?
with our friends Bryant and Gianna.
And so, what day of the week were you going to leave for the trip, if you recall?
So Ari and Gianna were going to be there on Wednesday,
Okay.
and Bryant and I were going to join them on Thursday.
So the
And then
girls
we
were going first.
Yeah,
to
and then we
spend-
were all staying there until Sunday.
The girls were going to go spend a night together.
Yeah, so they had like a girls' day planned, and they wanted to just go for the first day. The trip was mostly for Gianna's birthday.
So that was going to be on a Wednesday. When did you look into her phone?
On Monday night.
Okay. Right before the trip, a couple days before the trip.
Yeah.
So tell the jury what you discovered.
So Monday night, when I looked at her phone, I went to the screen time application on the iPhone, and then I noticed that the app with the highest usage was an app called WhatsApp. And
What is
really,
WhatsApp?
WhatsApp is a communications app. So it has texting, it has voice calls, and video calls. So instead of using your phone's built-in texting or voice or video, you go through WhatsApp.
Okay.
And it's separate from the phone.
So then when she saw that?
Yeah, so then
Well, first of all, I mean, was that surprising to
it
you?
was. I had not seen her on WhatsApp at all over the
Okay.
previous months. And so I was very surprised about that. And then I also saw that she had turned off all the notifications for WhatsApp, so she had everything silenced for
Okay.
WhatsApp. And then it wasn't like on the main screen. It was like a couple pages over in a folder, so it was kind of hidden.
So did you open the WhatsApp?
Yeah, so I opened the WhatsApp.
What did you see?
And there were two conversations with Jeff Miller. And the way WhatsApp works is that your account is always linked to a phone number. And so the one conversation was a conversation with his work phone, and the other conversation was a conversation with his personal phone.
Okay. And so let's talk about the conversation with his personal phone. Tell the jury what you saw.
Yeah, it was. So what I saw. So this was Monday night. What I saw was that the messages from Monday and from Sunday, so the previous 2 days, it was like a full-on conversation the entire day long, and it would start
All day long?
off. Yeah, and it would start off at like 2 a.m. Hawaii time. So and Jeff Miller lives in Maryland, and he travels extensively for work. Like he probably travels 3 out of every 4 weeks, and I know this because I'm always hearing them on the phone and
Okay.
talking about that. So basically, wherever he was, he'd be texting her good morning, but it wasn't just like a good morning text. It was like 5 or 6 texts. It's like a whole like a good morning. I had a great, I slept great. I'm looking forward to the day. I hope you're sleeping great. And then at like 5:45 a.m., her good morning.
She would be responding.
She would respond, and then the whole day long, like this is where I am, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm thinking, until, good night at the end of the day. And that was for Sunday and Monday.
Okay.
So for the 2 previous days.
So Sunday is a weekend, right?
Right.
Yeah. So you
Yeah,
saw on
so
a
it was-
Sunday. We saw the text from December
Yeah, she's
1st.
I'm at work. I'm on call for the weekend, and she's at home decorating and hanging out with the kids and
texting him all day.
Texting him all day.
Okay.
And then
go ahead.
when I scroll back past that, it's very strange because then between so the thread was created on June 4th or something like that, because WhatsApp puts when the thread was created in the app.
Okay.
And there was no messages between June 4th and August 30th, which was like a few days after the South Africa trip. And then between August 30th and Sunday, it was very strange because there was like fragments of conversation or little short things, and then mostly just pictures and songs and links. And it was basically Jeff sending her a bunch of pictures of himself, a bunch of song links that she had saved, and her sending him like a bunch of pictures too of.
Did you when you said it was strange because there were things missing? Did it seem to you like things were being deleted?
Well, yeah, because obviously that was. There was an abrupt cutoff between like what's before Sunday and Monday and that conversation and everything else that was on there.
Let me ask you this: seeing all of that, here you are, a couple of months now. You had some suspicions, some red flags. Asked her about it a couple of times. She denies it. Defensive. Now you open it up, and you see this.
Yeah.
Tell the jury how you felt. How did it make you feel?
I was devastated. There's obviously something going on, and
okay. So
I didn't know what to do.
okay. So what did you do?
So I had actually started using WhatsApp myself when we moved to Maui, because that's the main communication platform that the anesthesiology group uses, and so I was using it every day, communicating with the rest of the group and during our business meetings. And so I knew that WhatsApp, since even though it's primarily an app on your phone, there's a web interface. You can log into WhatsApp on your computer through the browser as well, and it'll basically just duplicate everything that's on your account.
And then what did you do the next day?
So I took her phone upstairs to my computer, which is in the hallway upstairs, and I logged into her WhatsApp on my computer.
So you could watch her.
So I could
activity.
see, because yeah.
Okay. You mentioned being devastated. I mean, prior to this, did you have any, aside from we talked about the red flags, but marriage-wise, I mean, everything seemed okay?
Everything seemed fabulous. We were. We were very happy together. No red flags in terms of the marriage itself.
Okay. So now, you want to learn more. You go into what do you call it, like detective mode, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you logged on and you're able to watch her. And did you do so the next day?
Yes. Excuse me. Yes.
Tell the jury what you saw the next day?
So the next day, it was basically the same type of thing that they were doing on Sunday and Monday. So they start off by saying good morning, and then just was in communication the entire day. But this day she started deleting messages, and so one of the first things that she did is she deleted all of the messages from Sunday and Monday.
Okay, so when you went, make sure you put the mic a little closer. So when you saw the messages the night before.
Yes.
And now you're looking at it on the computer next day, and those messages you saw the night before are deleted.
Yes.
Okay. And then what?
And then I saw them communicate kind of in real time, because I could see it pop up on my screen too. And as soon as the conversation proceeded, kind of past, she would kind of keep deleting the previous messages. So she was like, not deleting them in real time, but like throughout the day, she was deleting the previous messages.
And the content of the communications and what was being deleted, again, was it concerning?
Yeah, I mean, it was the same type of conversation that she was having with them on the previous 2 days, which is not a conversation you have with a coworker. This is a conversation you have with your spouse. I mean, this is And
after watching that all day long, What did you conclude?
Um,
I mean, in terms
yeah,
of what was going on, did you believe?
I mean, she was having an affair.
Okay. Let me ask you this: while that was, did you because she was deleting these things? Did you try to save some of the messages?
Yes. So the first thing I did, actually, the night that I unlocked her phone, because on WhatsApp you can also export the thread basically and save the thread, and so I exported the thread to my phone. So I had copies of what was on there when I first discovered it, and then the next day on my computer, the only thing I could do on the web interface is take screenshots.
Okay.
Of the.
And you took some.
Yeah.
All right. So now you are faced with, this. You got this trip in a day or two. Do you confront Ariel right away?
Not right away. So the way that this was happening was that our trip to San Luis Obispo, there's no direct flights from Maui to San Luis Obispo, and so we coordinated that the layovers were going to be in Phoenix, which is where Brian and Gianna lives. And Ari was taking a red eye on Tuesday night. And so on Tuesday, when I was first discovering and watching this kind of in person for the first time,
let me stop you there.
She's packing
just
for the
to help the jury. So Monday night is when you first found the WhatsApp chain, is that right?
Right. So Monday overnight. Tuesday morning, I wake up and I start looking at them interacting in real time during the day.
And then Ariel's supposed to leave that night.
And so she's supposed to leave that night.
Do you confront her before she leaves?
I do not.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so she leaves. Who do you first reach out to talk to about this?
Yeah. So on Wednesday night, I'm supposed to leave to fly to Phoenix to meet Bryant and then go to San Luis Obispo.
Okay.
And Wednesday, like in the middle of the day, I call him and talk to him.
Okay. And why did you call? Why did you call Bryant to talk to him about it?
Few different reasons. One was that we were, about to go on this trip with them, and I wasn't able to. Like, I knew I was going to have to confront her as soon as I got to San Luis Obispo. So now it's Wednesday, and I'm convinced of, I'm seeing what they're doing, especially what she was sharing with them on Wednesday. So on Wednesday, she was spending all day in San Luis Obispo with Gianna, and she's basically keeping him up to. I mean, first thing is, like, as soon as she lands in Phoenix in the morning, she's like, just landed. I have an hour and a half. If you're free, we can chat. Can't wait to talk to you.
Is she texting you, keeping you up to date?
Like, I'm getting. I also got a just landed text, but like nothing else.
Okay.
And but she's like, reaching out to him, and on WhatsApp, like, you can see when a message has been read, and so as soon as she saw that he read her just landed text, she called him, like, right, she didn't wait for him to respond.
Okay.
And stuff, and like, I'm not getting a call, I'm not getting any of this stuff, and then during the day, she's sending him pictures of the places that they're of her and Gianna doing stuff,
So you're seeing this.
So I'm seeing this, and that's at that point I'm just like, I can't go to San Luis Obispo and not confront her about this right away. Like,
and going back to Bryant, right? So I know.
Yeah.
Did you guys have like fun activities planned? It was supposed to be a fun couples trip.
Yeah. So I mean, it was supposed to be a couples trip, right? And it was Gianna's birthday, and actually Ari planned it because she used to work for, one of the power plants that she. That was her responsibility for refueling is just outside of San Luis Obispo. So she used to travel to San Luis Obispo all the time for work, and so
were you
planned like
were you
a bunch of fun
reaching out
activities.
to Brian and you said there's several reasons. Was one of it to kind of let him know, like, hey, this might not be the fun trip we had planned?
So the first reason was like, hey, like, this is, I'm just giving you a heads up, like, I'm gonna confront Ari with basically an affair.
Was there other reasons why you wanted to?
And then the other reason was that, the other reason why he's my best friend and I wanted some advice, but I specifically wanted advice from him because they had just gone through infidelity in their relationship